This is the story of a young boy named Andrew who loved music and the trumpet. Andrew asked, "Grandfather, what was that? I've never heard anything more wonderful." Grandfather replied, "That's a trumpet." Andrew exclaimed, "Grandfather, I want to play the trumpet." Grandfather smiled and said, "I used to be quite a trumpet player myself. I shall give you my old trumpet to practice on." Grandfather told Andrew, "Making beautiful music is not easy, Andrew. Try again." Andrew was so worn out by his hard work that he tired and fell fast asleep. While he was sleeping, he thought he heard his grandfather calling, who said, "Seek the Mystic Trumpeter, and he will teach you all you need to know. But remember, it will not be easy. Let the journey begin." Andrew walked down one road, then another, seeking the Mystic Trumpeter. He found a pond and sat down for a rest. Suddenly, a large duck landed directly on Andrew's head.
"Oops, I guess that did seem rather reckless, crack, crack,"
said the duck.
"But I have a big problem. I can fly just fine, but I am real bad at landings. Say, what's that you've got tucked under your arm?"
"That's my trumpet," said Andrew. "Like you, I've got a problem. I can hold it fine, but I can't play it. So I'm going to see the Mystic Trumpeter. He'll teach me how to play the trumpet."
"Mind if I join you, quack, quack?"
said the duck. "I would be glad to have you with me," said Andrew. The two took off laughing and joking and having a good old time. The two soon became friends.
"My name is Bill,
said the duck. I'm Andrew, and I like you. Bill asked,
mind if I practice my landings? I'll never get good unless I practice.
Andrew asked, is practicing all that important?
You bet it is, quack, quack,
said Bill.
You have to do it every day. It doesn't have to be all that long either. Be persistent.
Andrew asked, persistent? What's that? Bill told him,
it means stick with it every day. It means never quitting. Right now, I can soar like the flock. But I drop like a rock.
With the trumpet tucked under Andrew's arm and Bill working on his landings, the two started off on their journey. The two hadn't gone very far when they came upon a tortoise right in their path.
Quack. Move it, bud,
shouted Bill. That wasn't fair, Bill, accused Andrew. Now apologize.
I'm sorry you're so slow. Quack.
Turning to Andrew.
See? I apologize. Quack, quack.
That's okay, the tortoise replied. That'll show. That's how everybody talks to a tortoise. Hurry up. Get going. Get the lead out. Andrew suggested, perhaps you need a faster tempo. The tortoise was confused. Tempo? What's that? Tempo is about speed, said Andrew. I learned that playing my trumpet. While they were talking, something moved in the bushes behind them. Everyone took off running, even the tortoise. Bill exclaimed,
"What was that? That got my ticker moving faster. Now tell me, where are you two heading?"
Andrew told him they were seeking the Mystic Trumpeter. He will teach me how to play the trumpet. Bill insists that the Mystic Trumpeter will teach him how to land perfectly. I suggest you join us, and perhaps he will show you about tempo. Sounds like a great plan. I'll join you. My name's Terry, by the way. Terry, because I'm that slow.
"Are you sure you can keep up with us?"
asked Bill. Don't worry about me. I'm consistent. Consistent? Asked Andrew. What does that mean? Consistent means being steady, doing something over and over and over again. Andrew thought about those two things. Be persistent, be consistent. Soon they came to a crossroad, and it was confusing. Seemingly out of nowhere, a voice came saying, "Confused? Confused? What about me? I'm not confused. I just can't make up my mind. I can never decide where I should go, when I should go, if I should go, or why I should go." The name's Raymond, the rabbit, rabbit. Raymond the rabbit, by the way. Andrew shook his head. "I think you are confused. What you need is a plan. A plan is like a map. A plan will make you less confused. We're going to see the Mystic Trumpeter. I bet he could teach you how to make a plan." And they all set off together. Meanwhile, up the road, there sat Ricky the raccoon. Now, Ricky was a laid-back sort of guy. Like usual, he was taking it easy today. He was one cool dude, always wearing his sunglasses. Ricky said to himself, "What is it with guys? I think they just look a little too serious for me. Can you beat that? They are all practicing. What a waste." Muttering to himself, Ricky said, "I think I'll have some fun with these losers." Ricky began picking on Terry. "What's the matter, tortoise? Got rigor mortis?" Then he went after Bill. "Hey, duck, you can fly with the flock, but you drop like a rock." Finally, Ricky decided he had had enough fun. He knew that up ahead there would be plenty of chances for the travelers to grow discouraged. They would soon come to the prairie of persistence. It would be a testing ground. And when they came to the prairie of persistence, at first it seemed slow and boring. The more Andrew practiced, he found the prairie more interesting. Soon, Andrew learned that practicing was making him a better trumpet player. The fact that the prairie of persistence had not grown wearisome for Andrew and his friends started to get to Ricky. He knew that people who were persistent reached their goals. Ricky decided to put up some road signs to test them even more. "There," said Ricky, "that ought to give them up. But just in case, I'll put this shortcut sign to fool them." Ricky put up a sign that would take them around the Desert of Desire, a place where all serious trumpet players must pass through. Andrew was the first to spot the sign, and he was elated. He pointed out to his friends the shortcut, but they warned Andrew it was a trick. But Andrew ignored them and set out on his own. At first, the path started out so pleasant. Green trees, warm winds, beautiful flowers all around. Then the path grew fainter. Andrew was unsure which was the right way. Sometimes the path was overgrown with weeds. Some paths led to dead ends. Which way to turn? Andrew was becoming discouraged. Worry overwhelmed him. Strange sounds emerged from the forest. Andrew's troubles grew worse when it started to rain. The rain soaked Andrew. It came on harder. He couldn't see the path anymore. All alone, lost. The best he could do was keep going and try to make it through this awful night. Andrew's journey had started out so wonderfully. Now, the journey wasn't easy at all. However, Andrew was growing ever more determined. The heavy rains that hit upstream where Andrew had spent the night moved through the river valley. Downpours of rain, along with a ferocious wind, struck where Bill, Terry, and Raymond were. They were worried about Andrew. The river was getting deeper and turning nastier by the moment. Andrew's journey had started out so wonderfully. He had made new friends. Now, the journey wasn't easy at all. As long as they were a team, Andrew and his friends were certain they would find the Mystic Trumpeter. But now, they were being tested, really tested. Would they make it? Were all their dreams lost? Still, the river raged on. When Andrew started, it all seemed so easy. Now it wasn't easy at all. Andrew was growing ever more determined, even though he was tired. He had to keep trying and moving ahead. But more struggle awaited him. Then, something amazing happened. Looking up the river, Bill spotted Andrew floating down it on a log. Bill had an idea.
I've got these big webbed feet, quack. I bet Andrew can grab onto them.
Not only did Andrew miss Bill's feet, but Bill fell in the water, too.
"Oh, no," cried Terry. "You missed. Maybe Andrew could climb on my shell."
But that failed, too. Then it was Raymond's turn.
I believe I could make this rescue. I'm very quick, especially on the turns. I bet I could pull him out of the bend in the river. Oh, no, here I go, too.
And now Raymond fell into the water. Everyone was now in the swollen river. All seemed hopeless. Still, the waters kept coming. More water on water and waves on waves. Andrew slammed into a large boulder. Something then touched his shoulder. Slowly, he felt himself being pulled out of the water.
Free?
"I'm free!" shouted Andrew. Andrew looked around, dazed. What happened? Who pulled me out? Andrew spun around and looking for who had pulled him out of the river. Alas, he could only see the shadow of a form heading over to the rocks on the shore. Andrew's attention turned to his friends. He was taken with concern. "My friends!" he shouted. And then a brilliant idea struck him. "I still have my trumpet," he told himself. Andrew took his trumpet out, put it to his lips, took a deep breath, and made a glorious sound that reverberated off the canyon walls. First, it was Raymond who heard the glorious sound of the trumpet.
Oh my, that's Andrew's trumpet. Yeah, that's Andrew's trumpet, all right.
Exclaimed Bill.
"That's more beautiful than my mother's quacking."
Terry, too, got excited.
"Boy, oh boy, that's Andrew's trumpet, all right."
Each of his friends was drawn to the sound of where Andrew was. In a few moments, they were reunited. Happier than ever, sounds of joy and excitement rang out over the storm. From here, it wasn't far to the river's edge, a few short leaps, across some stones, and a big leap to the river's bank. With Terry leading the way, that's how they made it all across. All four were now safe. "Oh, I do love it on the other side of the river of reward," said Andrew. "It is so satisfying." The conversation turned to who it was who had rescued Andrew. Andrew exclaimed, "Well, someone did. I know because I caught a glimpse of it." "But who was it?" Everyone shrugged their shoulders. After a moment or two in the distance, Andrew heard the sound of a trumpet. Andrew realized what he had just heard. It must be the Mystic Trumpeter. Don't you see? We made it. Now all four heard that distinct sound. Their curiosity turned into action. They crept to a grove of bushes and peered over them. Sitting there was the Mystic Trumpeter. Andrew found himself staring deep into the face of a great musician. Something was strangely familiar about the trumpeter. Andrew saw a pair of sunglasses on the grass next to the Mystic Trumpeter. A thought penetrated Andrew's mind. At first, it seemed incomprehensible. Then, it became clearer. The Mystic Trumpeter was actually Ricky, the same Ricky who had been taunting and testing all along. Shouted Andrew. Grandfather asked, "What's ingenious? I think you've been having a dream." Andrew could not contain himself, but it was so real. It couldn't have been a dream. I have to find the Mystic Trumpeter so that I can become a great player too. Grandfather told him, "It seems to me that you have learned a great deal." Grandfather also told him, "You have reached your journey's end. You've been rewarded for your persistence." You have earned your prize by reaching your goal. Now you have become the Mystic Trumpeter.
Thank you very much for your attention. for finding the Mystic Trumpeter, and if you would like to meet the Mystic Trumpeter or anybody else in the orchestra, you are welcome to come forward on either side or up the steps, and we welcome you to join us and meet our instruments. Thank you again for coming.